Hello everyone, this is Sean from Sean's Travels, and this is August 2011 day 2, which was August 12th in calendar date. This was the trip I took for $75 round trip, picked me up from the Golden Nugget Hotel and took me to the Grand Canyon and back. You had 2 stops along the way, and of course, as we were riding in the bus, I of course had to take pictures of the desert path on the way there, and I guess we went out pretty well to the, I guess we crossed over the big highway in front of the Hoover Dam, and then I think we turned north at Kingsman or something and took the road up to the Grand Canyon South Rim. From there you can see some of the hydro lines and everything. Don't know if you could have seen Hoover Dam in the background in the daylight, but there's certainly a lot of craggy cliffs and hardly a tree in sight, so it's quite a different sight that I would see in Ontario, where you could see trees everywhere. There's hardly even any desert scrub visible from those. Yeah, look at that. Very dry mountains, certainly not like what you'd see at the Montana and everything that you've seen in the earlier videos. And you see a few isolated rock formations. Now that looks a lot like Single Shot Mountain in Glacier National Park. You can see a closer view now. But that is several, might even be 1,000 miles to the south. Oh, look at that. Look at that view. That's beautiful. See, I tried to get close enough to the window that you couldn't see any glare, and you could see all the rock formations. Now, I took the bus ride this time, but 3.5 years later, I ended up taking my own car on this trip because I finally lived out west and I was close enough to see everything. And of course, McDonald's and apparently Arby's are everywhere. There's some mountains or almost an escarpment in the distance. Oh, there's a couple trees. Or are those hay bales? Yes. They'll seem to do a pretty good job avoiding the glare of the bus window. Got some pretty good pictures with the digital camera. I'd only been using it for a few months at this point. Canyon Plaza Resort. Well, I didn't have to stay in the Grand Canyon Hotel. You just arrived at the National Geographic Visitor Center. Yes. You just arrived at the Grand Canyon, and there was a little theater and everything, and then we started taking the walk on the trail through the alpine pine trees. Yes, that's not a pun. See, there you go. So you finally see some trees and greenery for the first time in quite a while. And a lone pine tree standing up high above the rest. And then you get to the first pictures of the Grand Canyon itself. So I had to take it in panoramic view. Don't worry, I took videos as well. I'll release those on Wednesday. This video will be released on Friday, Good Friday. Now, I'm not exactly sure which picture is going to serve as a thumbnail. Perhaps the second one, because you can't really see anything with me in the way, so I don't think that's going to be the thumbnail. I think the thumbnail would be better served to be a picture of the Grand Canyon wall itself. Yes, probably the second picture with the tree in the center. We'll see how much room it takes up, of course. Thankfully, I keep the file names with the digital camera pictures, so it'll be easy enough to scroll over it in Movie Maker and find out what picture number it is. Yes, and I took a picture, accidentally, of someone taking a picture of the Grand Canyon. If you look way down there, there's a little shack right on the floor. You can see the red desert sand. Well, that's quite something, too. Yeah. Now, that's a good one. That could be a possible candidate for the thumbnail as well. And there's someone taking a picture of someone on the ledge. Yes. That's a possibility as well. So there are numerous possibilities. I'll just take a look at. Hopefully I don't have to shave the picture down. Ah, there you go. The archway in the rock, people on the trail below us, I remember. And I said, well, if I ever got back there, look, see the trail in the center of your screen going along the gray? See the tiny little bit of desert oasis? There's a deer up there, so we got some of those. And then we went to the second viewpoint, I believe. And we got some more pictures there. So it worked out quite well, getting pictures of everything. Oh, it was the Windows update. Don't mind that. And there's some more pictures of the red desert wall. I think that's the archway that everyone was traveling through. That's quite something. This granite in the background. Yes, I took quite a few pictures, but I also have video. Ooh, I think I see potential for another thumbnail coming up, actually. You know, I got so many good pictures, it's going to be a bit difficult to decide which one actually serves as a thumbnail. But at least we know that despite the brief computer interruptions, like, see, these could be a thumbnail. Maybe that one right there. At least everything is aligned by the second. Pictures and the video. That looks almost like a tiny arch in the center of the screen there. Oh, wow, look at the 3 different types of rock. Red sandstone, maybe white. Wow, that's something. That's beautiful too. Yeah, I think I'd get one of the pictures with the rock in the foreground and then the canyon arms in the background. That one looks like a bit artificial coloring. I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use one of the previous 2. Oh, that's gorgeous. Look, it looks a bit like Valley of the Gods, which I wouldn't see for another 3.5 years. That's why I took the opportunity to travel in the West while I lived out there, as much as I could afford to, although eventually it turned out I could only afford to go once a year. Now there's another. See? There's another, and it looks like there's a butte in the center of the screen. Okay, and this is the last picture I got of the Grand Canyon itself, because then you started taking pictures on the journey back of the desert landscape on the return journey to Las Vegas itself. And I believe that on that bus is the first time I saw the movie Marley and Me, if my memory's correct. Yeah, you see they had sunshades in the bus windows, so that was good. Yeah, it was quite a beautiful drive to and from the Grand Canyon. Seeing the fields and the desert scrub and everything. I mean, this is the first time in my life I'd ever seen a desert landscape. I'm used to seeing trees and lakes everywhere. Not just a dusty brown plain with isolated mountains in the center of it. That's something I didn't see again for another 2.5 years when I went to Alberta, and I lived there for 4 years, and it was winter, so you saw nothing but bare brown hills. I think you've seen that on the posting trip pictures. All right, so we're getting near the end of the video. Just a few more pictures to go. Oh, that's beautiful. It's like one of the mountains I saw in one of my childhood books. And the sun was beginning to set. It was close to sunset at this time. So that's the end of the video, Grand Canyon visit. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you here next time. Bye-bye.